you that in my presentation, I think that's just the casualty of going last. So, but I do want to touch on some things perhaps that have to do a bit more with the development of affordable housing and not just the financing of it, because I think those two components have to go together. And also talk about some of the other parts of the context of the foreclosure crisis. And just to recap on the organization that I work with, the California Coalition for Rural Housing, we're an advocacy organization. We're more than 30 years old, and our mission is to advocate for the production and preservation of affordable housing for rural and low-income Californians. And so that's the kind of perspective that I come to this meeting with. And I also work in the San Joaquin Valley under a grant from the USDA. It's the Rural Community Development Initiatives Grant, and we have a program called the Rural Housing Capacity Development Program, and the goal of our organization under that grant is to help. We have specific small rural communities that we assist in meeting their affordable housing and community development goals, and we do that through organizing workshops. Also, I work I'm the staff person for the San Joaquin Valley Housing Trust, which is a regional organization of all of the COGs, of affordable housing advocates and developers that are working towards having a regional approach to addressing affordable housing issues. And then also, we also work on providing some individualized technical assistance to specific community groups and jurisdictions. So a couple of things that I just want to touch on in terms of public perception of the foreclosure crisis. I think Daryl was right in saying that we're in a room of people, of friendly faces, and of people who really do understand what caused the crisis. But I think it's important to recognize what constraints we're going to come up against in terms of forming policy. There was an article in the Central Valley Business Times that basically was saying that now the valley is affordable. We've got the waves of foreclosure have combined to make the valley city suddenly the most affordable in the country. So, and they've said that basically the wave of foreclosure is now over, and at the very end of the article it said so buy quickly because your opportunity will be gone soon. But the Center for Responsible Lending published an article within like 2 days of the other one, saying that we are yet to face the worst waves of the foreclosure crisis. There's still other waves of option arms to come, and I think Carolina definitely touched on some of the causes of those, and that we haven't reached the bottom. We haven't bottomed out quite yet. And we're going to need to do a lot more to have a robust economic resurgence. And so, just reflecting the myth of this increased affordability that was reflected in the Central Valley Business Times, their housing prices were inflated to a level that was not affordable to the average resident of the San Joaquin Valley. Although they've dropped down to being a bit more affordable, we face all the issues of declining incomes, and as Steven mentioned, all of the tightening of the credit markets, and folks having a lot less opportunities to borrow than they did previously. And we need to find a balance of helping people to be able to borrow, but being able to do so responsibly. And I just put this together, getting some recent days of data. This is the California Association of Realtors median home prices for October. Oh, I can use this. These are for San Joaquin, Merced, Fresno, and Tulare County. So the prices are really low, especially in Merced. But if you look at family incomes, especially for families earning 50% of the area median income or below, and then you take a mortgage payment and what their feasible housing payment would be, there's still a big gap in terms of affordability. And how I calculated the mortgage payment was based on having basically no down payment, because right now it would be really difficult for folks. It has been very difficult for folks to save with the high unemployment rates. And so I included private mortgage insurance. I also put the interest rate of the loan at 6%, just because lower income folks have tendency to have lower credit scores due to just not having the lending history or having outstanding loans. And then when you add those factors into the mortgage payment, it really raises it up. They were already unaffordable, but that makes them even more so. And then I just, in terms of what we're building and how we're building it, I've heard on various presentations over the last year that we've built enough of the single-family product on large lots to last us until 2035. So the kind of product that we develop really needs to change. We are growing. We do need to have more housing development. We don't have enough, despite what some news reports say that now there's foreclosures, so there's vacancies. There aren't vacancies. There's just people. There's now overcrowding and people living in substandard conditions. This is an interesting slide looking at the projected need for both rental and homeownership housing, and which are classified here as multifamily and single family. This is the construction up until 2008, and then 22,000 homes are the annual projected need for the last projected need for the last decade or so. So we've been really declining in the amount of housing we're developing and not developing the right kind. And this is just to show that the population is growing, and it's mostly growing in the San Joaquin Valley. So we really do need increased production of the right kind of housing. And then this is all for all of California, so it may not be entirely reflective of the population changes in just the San Joaquin Valley. I'm feeling it's a little bit different, but in all of California, the population, the baby boomers are going to kind of be the population that's we're going to need to be housing. Some may want to age in place, but others may need to be moving closer to services, so may want smaller, more high density housing, and they're going to have reductions in their incomes as well. So I think you kind of skip over some of this because it's what's been mentioned by other folks. So in terms of reaching the lowest income members of our community, we need to provide comprehensive services, housing counseling,